What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 6 of the Trackside Girls podcast, season 3. We're filming this a lot later in the week, so we're gonna have to. These recaps are actual recaps for us because it's Thursday, on the day that we're filming this. So Lakota had to travel back from Vegas, and that took a lot longer than planned. But we're back. We're chilling. We're here.
We're chilling.
Um, but we're gonna go over the races. Um, Both NASCAR and F1 were racing this past weekend. NASCAR was in Vegas with all three series, and then, of course, Formula One was in Australia. So let's let's get into this. So as for the truck race, um, to the rear was Nathan Bird and Lane Riggs for unapproved adjustments. Nathan Bird did not make a qualifying lap due to an oil issue, but it was Corey Heim to get pole with Tyler Ankrum on the inside. Oh, wait, hold on. Corey got sent to the back. That's what it was. I'm thinking
Yeah.
Corey Day. Sorry. It was Corey Day. Um,
I was like, hang on, that's not
yep,
right.
yep. Sorry, wrong Corey. I just saw Corey and immediately said hi. So sorry. Because I was reading this other, I was like, wait, Corey Heim up to seventh. How can he be both in first and in seventh? And then I went back and was like, oh, Corey Day was the one that started on pole. Um,
Yeah.
but anyway, um, the first caution was lap 26 for rain. And Ty Majeski wins stage one under caution. Um, they do bring the cars back onto pit road, red flag for rain on lap 34. Um, it doesn't say how long the red flag was, but
It was
they
it was a while.
yeah, it was like it was to the point that they had to like go out and actually dry the track. Like so it was a solid amount of time.
Kind of glad we didn't go to the truck race because it was freezing, but it was also raining.
Yeah. Um but they bring the yellow flag back out. Um and Matt Crafton gets a penalty for working on the truck under the red flag. I want to know what actually happened. Like because I've heard that that same penalty get because they like put fans on it. Like, so what were they actually doing under the red flag? Yeah, I would have to know to, but it's Ben Rhodes leading the field to green with Tyler Ankrum on the outside. Um, and it's green all the way to the end of stage two with Tyler Ankrum running. Josh Room had a penalty for an uncontrolled tire. Had to start at the rear. Um, there were, whoa, a ridiculous amount of penalties for this one.
Mm-hmm. I said there was a
Um,
lot of days.
yes, William Smollett and Dawson Sutton penalties for improper fueling. Caden Honeycutt penalty for not staying in a single file line coming to pit road. Raja and Gio Ruggiero penalties for a safety violation. Luke Finhouse penalty for too many men over the wall. And another penalty, or actually, Gio's penalty was rescinded. Um, but they red flagged it again for rain. After they get going again after the red flag is lifted, it is Corey Heim leading the field to green, Stuart Friesen on the inside. Actually, really, I think this might be the first caution for cause. Like not just weather. Caden
Yeah.
Honeycutt gets loose out of turn 4, but saves it. Tyler Ankrum hits the wall trying to avoid Caden Honeycutt. Um, get green again with Corey Heim leading the field to green on the inside, Chandler Smith on the outside. Lap 92, Jack Wood crashes into the turn 4 wall. And it is green to the end with Corey Heim holding on to the win. Grant Infinger second. Tanner Gray, Ty Majeski, and Lane Riggs round out the top 5. So, big news, I don't think we mentioned, but since I just said his name in that, Tanner Gray is having a kid. Um,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird. Like he's my age, actually our age, because we're the same age, but like
Yeah.
actually I think he's younger than us.
He was born 99. Tanner and I are the same age.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought he was I
He
thought
was
he
born
was like
90.
a couple months younger. But
He's born 99.
like I guess it's just weird to me. Someone that's my age, like I don't have like a concept of time, like when it comes to myself. So
But that's how it is now. Everybody's like, oh, our age, they're popping out kids, they're married, and I'm like, what am I
bro,
doing wrong in life?
it's crazy.
Oh, it's wild. It's wild.
So on to the Xfinity race.
Oh, that was a that was fun.
Brandon Jones, Dean Thompson, Leland Honeyman Jr. to the rear for unapproved adjustments, but it was Sammy Smith to get pole with Connor Zilic on the inside. Um, Caution right out of the gate. Um, William Sawalich gets into the wall off of turn 2 after Jeb Burton took the air off of him. Parker Retzloff also spins at this same moment. So they didn't even get to lap 2,
Mm-hmm.
and this happens. Um, but they get going again. Sammy Smith in the lead, Connor Zilic on the outside. It is Justin Allgaier to win a stage 1. After the stage caution, it is Eric Almirola leading the field to green with Carson Kvapil on the outside. And it is green again all the way to stage 2 with Eric Almirola winning.
Yeah.
Taylor Gray had a safety violation under that stage caution. Get going again, Eric Almirola. Blah, 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 blah. Eric Almirola? Or what did Dawson call him? Amarillo?
I think so. Yeah.
Leading the field to green with Sammy Smith on the outside. Um, man, and it's green to the end. Justin Allgaier, like, wins the race.
Not gonna lie, I was a little stressed out because me and my sister were down there. Like we were down by the neon garage and we had like the straight shot view to victory lane.
Hmm.
So by lap 20, we got up and we stood over there. And I was like, if Amarola wins, I'm like, we're out of here. Like that'll be
Yeah.
the fastest ever. Like we're out. And then Justin freaking held him off and we were like, bless it. So we were over there, so that was really fun. He was excited to see us. He was excited, and it was pretty cool.
Well, I'm sure he recognizes you with how many times you've met him.
Oh, he does. Because we had a bunch of like stupid kids yelling out a bunch of stupid things, asking if they could have literally everything of his. They're like, "Can I have
Oh,
his hat? Can I have his shoe? Can I have his fire suit?" All that. And so by the time Justin got done with them, he like sighed a breath of relief because he was like somebody that I actually know.
yeah,
So then we
we
kind of
love
stood there.
Justin.
Yeah, kind of stood there, chit-chatted with him, and then after we saw him, we left
Yeah.
to leave, which was a disaster.
But the drivers that are going to be competing for the Dash for Cash in Homestead are Justin Allgaier, Jesse Love, Austin Hill, and Sam Mayer.
One Junior Motorsports, one Haas, and then both of the RCR cars.
Hmm. On to the Cup race. Literally,
Let's stop.
as
Not
soon
talk
as
about
I,
that.
yeah, I'm kind of irritated, but the the race ended literally as I was pulling out of the parking lot at work. Um, I will get to my concerns at the end of this after we do the recap. But to the rear was Ricky Stenhouse Jr. with an axle seal change. Riley Herbst, Christopher Bell, John Nemechek, and Ryan Blaney also to the rear. Michael McDowell got pole with Joe Logano on the inside. Man, like Ryan had an issue in qualifying, I think it was. He was either practice or qualifying. But
It was both because then I saw him in the garage working on his car.
yeah, but like Joey and Austin got like second and third in qualifying, which was crazy because normally I don't think Austin does that well at Vegas that I've seen. So that was crazy. But um it looks like they did green flag pit stops, and the caution has to come out because Chase Briscoe loses a left rear wheel. And then he was also penalized 2 laps for losing that wheel. And if you guys don't know, if you lose a wheel, that also implications on your team. One of your crew members gets ejected. I think it's like normally a tire changer and a car chief.
Jackman. Well, I don't know
I think
because
I think they
someone
pick. I think the honestly, I think the team gets to decide what one team member gets
alls I
like.
know is that there's a lot of penalties and a lot of people are moving to completely different teams to pit cars now. They've changed a lot of people around.
I so a lot of the guys that I know, like, because I know a lot of guys on Trackhouse, I know some on RFK, like I know a guy, like there's just everybody's moving different places. Like it's it's become a very, how do I explain it? Competitive. Like obviously it's got to be competitive anyway,
Well, yeah.
but it feels like it stepped its game up this year. Like most of the guys that I know are um previous pro or college athletes that pit these
Yeah.
cars.
I mean, that is true, especially when they do like their little segments on like who's on what team and they do their like little thing and they
Yeah,
say that most of them are professional athletes already, so
yeah. But it is Austin Cindric waiting on the inside, Alex Bowman on the outside on the restart. And Austin Cindric wins stage one. Lost points? Who?
Facts.
Like, but they get going again. It's Bubba Wallace leading on the inside, Austin Cindric on the outside. The actually it looks like we got a caution for Shane Van Gisbergen spinning on the backstretch.
So
Oh
stage
no,
one,
he was on the
stage,
Red Bull car. Sorry.
yeah, stage two felt like a million years long. When you're actually at the racetrack, literally thought it was stage three, but it was only stage two, and it felt like a million years, and it was very long, stage two. That's yeah, felt like a very long stage two.
Let's see. So Kyle Busch loses a wheel under this caution, and he was penalized 2 laps. Um, People for speeding. Kyle Busch goes behind the wall for repairs. Um, Christopher Bell penalized for pitting outside of his box. That was the one where he pulled into another Joe Gibbs box, right? And got his wheel tightened. Is that the one?
Yeah, he
That,
pulled into
okay.
because he pulled in because I think he pulled in because he pulled I think he pulled into Ty's pit box, and because Ty couldn't pull into his pit box because Ty had to go into a completely different pit box. It was a whole thing.
What's wild is like, so Christopher Bell pulls out of his own pit box, realizes the wheel's loose, and the team over the radios don't go out there, pull into a pit box, don't go out there. We're gonna get a penalty anyway. Like, because obviously, if you lose that wheel on track, your crew member's ejected. Period. That's how it works. But that was the biggest brain move for them to pull into another Joe Gibbs pit box, get the wheel tightened, so they would only have like a pass-through penalty instead of getting their crew members ejected.
Mm-hmm.
That was so big brain. Like no one is ever like not, that I'm aware of. No one has ever tried that before.
I mean, it worked. All he had to do was a pass through penalty.
Like that was insane. Or even I don't even know if they made him do a pass-through. They might have just made him start at the rear of the field.
No, they made him do a pass through because he was still sitting. Because when they started going, he was still sitting on pit road in whoever's pit box he was in. I want to say it was Ty's pit box that he was in, or
It was one of the Joe Gibbs ones for sure.
I know it was maybe Joe Gibbs. Uh, I don't know. I don't remember. I
But
want to say, oh, I don't know.
but honestly, that
Um,
was like so big brain. That was crazy.
yeah, that would, yeah.
But William Byron leading on the inside, Kyle Larson on the outside. Again, Chan Van Gisbergen loses a right front tire, but is able to make it to pit road. Another caution comes out at 147. Todd Gilliland bounces off the wall, exiting turn 4, then bounces off Ricky Stenhouse and hits the wall again. Um, and this time it is Ross Chastain leading on the inside, Eric Jones on the outside. And that was the end of stage 2, where Kyle Larson won. And Kyle Larson is the first repeat stage winner of 2025. Um, Michael McDowell leading, Austin Dillon on the outside. Lap 187, Cody Ware spins and crashes between turns 3 and 4. Ty Gibbs spins under caution on pit road, entering his pit stall following contact with Carson Hocevar, who was leaving his stall after taking 2 tires. Um, but on the restart, this specific restart, lap 195, Ross Chastain was leading on the inside, Kyle Larson on the outside. As the field goes down the backstretch, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. spins to the inside, then contact between Noah Gragson, Ryan Blaney, and Bubba Wallace causes Ryan Blaney to spin. Eric Jones also spins, with Austin Dillon and Bubba Wallace also receiving damage. That was probably honestly the biggest one of the race. Um,
I'm so mad because Noah was doing so good. Like Noah
yeah.
was up in the front most of the time. And then stupid spin house.
Um, Under that caution, Riley Herbst caught speeding on pit road. Um, they get going again. Tyler Reddick leading Daniel Suarez on the outside. Um, and it's just a battle for the lead. Until Noah Gragson blows a right front tire and makes contact with a wall between turns 1 and 2 on lap 230, or sorry, 243. Again, Daniel Suarez leading Josh Berry on the outside. Um, and it is Josh Berry to win over Daniel Suarez by 1.35 seconds. So here's what I'll talk about. I'm a little irritated because, to be quite honest, Josh Berry was kind of mid in the Stewart Haas cars. Where in the world did this come from if they did not upgrade the Wood Brothers car after last year? If you try to tell me that they did not upgrade that equipment or work better on it, you were lying.
Yeah,
There is
I already
there's
let my
no
frustration
way.
out.
There is no way that the deficit between Josh Berry and Harrison Burton was that big. There's no way.
That's what I'm saying. Because
Especially
all of a
if you
sudden,
see what Harrison is doing in the AM racing car this year. He's gotten like top tens in every single race so far this season. He's taken a car that the beginning of last season was running dead last, basically, with Haley Deegan, and then Joe Logano couldn't even, like, I think he finished maybe top 15, maybe top 20 on the road course. And then, like, Lawless Allen is a good driver, but he didn't do much better than Joey did in placement when he ran it. There is no shot that you were telling me that, like, especially based on what, like, yes, Josh Berry was, like, had some good results in the Stewart Haas car, but he was not running like how this Wood Brothers car has been running this past couple of weeks. Because the Wood Brothers car has been running in the top 10 for almost every race this season. How come he couldn't do that in a Stewart Haas car?
exactly.
So there's no shot that they did not upgrade equipment.
Because the way that I see it, Harrison wasn't a bad driver. And he tried the absolute hardest anytime that he was in the Wood Brothers car. And
Because
yet,
he knew. Like, the difference between Harrison is, yes, Harrison has the last name, okay?
yeah, that's true.
But clearly that didn't help him, or else he
No?
would still be in the Wood Brothers car.
Yeah.
So obviously he knew well enough that he had to put every single ounce into that car.
And that car, quite frankly, actually sucked. And I think it's so funny how all of a sudden it's so good now.
Like,
Look, I've never liked Josh Berry, but him winning that race really set me off. Because you mean to tell me that just from last year, this car is all of a sudden so much better?
Like yeah,
That
I don't see it. I I
something you
don't
have
I
to.
don't believe there was that big of a deficit between the ability that Josh Berry has and the ability that Harrison Burton has. I don't see it.
Yeah, but that's fine because Harrison's doing a whole lot better in the car that he's in now because, I mean, like you said, that car actually did suck when anybody else got in it, but Harrison has top tens at every single racetrack that he's been to. So,
Like I just don't get it.
I don't either. It's a bit odd to me, but whatever.
But enough of that. We still got the F1 stuff to go over. F1 weekend. So the I didn't get to watch FP2 because started at like 1 a.m. and I didn't get to watch qualifying. Um, but I heard a lot of people spun in qualifying, and then also it ended up being a or a wet race. I might be getting that mixed up because, like I said, I only watched FP1 and FP3, and then yeah, I actually did not watch the race because it started at midnight and I had to be at work the next day. Um,
I didn't watch anything because I didn't even know what times when I was in half the time, so.
fair, but so a couple things that I did note from FP1. Um, Unfortunately, Ollie Behrman crashed in FP1.
Oh,
And then also George spun in turn four with 40 seconds left of the session in FP1. But fastest was Lando Norris. Second, Carlos Sainz, and third, Charles Leclerc. Where in the world is the speed coming from Williams? You're telling me that a Williams beat a Red Bull, a McLaren, and a Ferrari? What?
oh, so it sounds like Josh Berry's situation with his car all over again, except it's F1.
Like something is going on here because right behind that Red Bull in sixth is Alex Albon and the other Williams.
Something doesn't seem right, but that's just me.
Like I don't know.
What?
But um for FP2, it was Charles Leclerc fastest, and rounding out the top three, it was a double McLaren with Oscar Piastri in second and Lando Norris in third. Apparently, there was a lot of controversy um, in McLaren again. Um, like something I actually saw it on TikTok um, from the race that Oscar Piastri spun during the race and literally put his heart and soul into getting out of the grass and getting back on track, even if it meant that he was laps down. Like, literally, full on, foot on the gas, in reverse, trying to back out of the grass. Like, he did it. He accomplished it. And he was probably like, the leaders were probably about to come up on him. I don't know if he ever got lapped or anything, but like, he literally like heart and soul into that
Oh my gosh.
to get back onto the track. Um, in FP3, again, Ollie spun into the gravel in the first 10 minutes. Yeah, which is it's kind of strange. Like I just think him finally having a full seat is possibly getting to him like this first race because he literally stepped foot into a Ferrari and got points for his first ever like full like Grand Prix weekend. Or actually, it wasn't even a full weekend. He just did, I think he just qualified and did the race. So like I think just the first weekend nerves kind of hit him. But in FP3 it was Oscar Piastri fastest with George Russell second and Max Verstappen third. So for the first time ever, McLaren, or not ever, sorry, first time in like 11 years, um, a McLaren is leading the drivers' championship, which is crazy. For qualifying, it was a McLaren front row lockout with Lando on pole and Oscar Piastri in second, with Max Verstappen in third. Um, and like I said, I did not get to watch the race. So a lot of the events that happened during the race, I can't really tell you about. Um, but it was Lando Norris to win the first race of the season. Um, After Oscar got stuck in the grass, he clawed his way back to ninth. So in the points, after that happened. Um, but it was Max Verstappen in second and George Russell in third. You chose Lando, right? I chose Oscar.
Land. I think I did Lando and Charles again.
Okay. Because I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure I did Oscar because I was hoping that like he would actually get like redemption at his home race, which I guess kind of in a way that he did, because he finished the race after that happened. But fastest lap went to Lando Norris. Fastest pit stop was Ferrari. That's surprising, to be honest. And then
Okay.
of course, driver of the day was Lando Norris. Everybody, so there were a couple people that were upset that Lando Norris got driver of the day. They were like, "Oh, the Lando fangirls," and like, I get it. Okay, like, yes, it's essentially a popularity contest for driver of the day. Okay, that's really it. Um, and a lot of times something does happen during the race that a one-off driver like random gets put into the top three by the end of it and they end up getting driver of the day. Okay, but I also see the argument that Oscar should have gotten it. One, because it's his home race, and two, he fought so hard to get back onto the track. So
I
it's
mean,
like,
to be fair, for them picking driver of the day, it's basically a popularity contest. Like,
yeah,
and if you have a lot of favorites, who do you pick? You're gonna pick your absolute favorite.
yeah.
And
So
let's be real, Lando has a lot of fans. That's
that is true.
just what it is, okay?
Um, One of the biggest stories of the weekend, Isaac Hadjar crashed his car. He was very emotional walking through the paddock, had his helmet on, but you could tell like he had his visor like about halfway up, but he kept like putting his hands like in the visor, um, and you could just tell he was upset. And sure enough, Anthony Hamilton, Lewis's dad, goes straight up to Isaac, pulls him into a hug. I every like specifically Helmut Marko, apparently, I only heard this from a second source. I have not read it myself, But apparently, Helmut Marko was complaining about how they shouldn't show emotion or something like that to the public, blah, 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 blah. Do you know how many people were appreciative of that moment? That they, like, yes, I get that you shouldn't stick a camera in somebody's face whenever some type of moment is like that. So I feel like they should have backed off, but also being able to witness a moment like that shows you how much a driver cares about this sport.
Yeah.
Like, Isaac has worked so hard to get where he is. Like he's I don't know how long he's been a Red Bull Junior, but he was in like a Red Bull Junior driver in F2. So obviously him getting the opportunity to drive in Formula One for Racing Bulls, for the junior Red Bull team, and he goes out there and botches the first weekend, like obviously he's going to be upset at himself. That's just human.
Okay. Yeah.
But the people saying that like he shouldn't have shown that in public, y- are you even human? Like, come on now.
Do you not cry in public? Because I can tell you I've cried in public.
I can vouch for that.
Like, you mean to tell me that you've never cried in public? Like uh, I'm literally saying I have cried in public, and Sid literally has witnessed me crying in public.
Yeah.
So you're not human if you don't cry in public, I guess. I don't know.
Um, but yeah, like I I I do believe in the fact that they should have backed off, like not been all up in his business. I
Yeah.
mean, but from another perspective, as a photographer and like the photos, like screenshots, whatever that came out of that moment are absolutely like just breathtaking. Like you can see, even though Isaac has a helmet on, you can feel the emotion that is coming off of him. And I think that is one of the best possible outcomes that you can have of like from like content that is created. Like I took a picture of Ross Chastain in Atlanta, and it's right after he had spoken to um Carson Hocevar, and he had walked back over and he's like rubbing down his face. Like you can feel the frustration coming off of Ross Chastain through that photo. That like those are the types of photos that like the photos that can cause people emotion even if they are not witnessing it themselves are like the best type. And I like again, I I do not necessarily condone like being right up in anybody's business because that honestly, yes, they are in the middle of the paddock, but that was also kind of an intimate moment between Anthony Hamilton and Isaac Hadjar. But again, they are in the public in the middle of the paddock, so obviously there's going to be people to witness it. So
Yeah.
it can literally go either way. Um, but yeah, the the trying to say that racing drivers shouldn't show emotion, you're dumb. Like, I'm sorry. Like them showing emotion is proving that they care about the sport that they are in.
Yeah.
Like it's if they're upset at themselves or upset in general, like angry is different. Okay? Like if they're to the verge that they want to like scream and yell at somebody or they want to throw hands, that's a little different. That's a little too much. You guys need to chill out, okay? But like, if you're more on the upset end of the spectrum, like, obviously that just proves you care about something. So that's my that's my input on it. Um,
You said it best. Like, what are you like supposed to do? Just not show emotions? Like, it's hard.
like,
When
yeah,
you love
like,
the sport, like when you love the sport and you fail, like yeah, you're gonna get emotional because you're like, I failed. Like I, I don't know. Like what? You're just not supposed to show emotion.
yeah. It's like, what do you expect them to do? Hold it in till they get, which I mean, I guess fair. Hold it in till you're behind closed doors. Like, if you're angry, by all
Then
means. But
yeah. But if you feel like you failed, then you want to just cry right there on the spot.
like you can't control that. Like, to be fair, with Isaac still having his helmet on, if he did not make the gestures that he did, probably we would have never even known.
Yeah.
But because of his body language, rather than his facial expressions, like you could use like those identifying factors to tell what he could feel.
Yeah.
But let's move on. Apparently F1 teams are having issues getting their stuff into China for the next race. I don't know how that went or if they had gotten all their stuff transported because, they pack everything up the Monday and then they ship it off to wherever they are next. And this time they had back-to-back races. They went from Australia to China. Um, and looks like the first session is in about 9 hours from whenever we're filming this. Let's see. What's the 20th?
Gosh.
Is today the 20th? It is the 20th.
Today is
It's from 11 p.m. EST to 12:30 a.m. So over midnight is whenever FP1. It's a sprint. It's a sprint weekend too. So we also have sprint qualifying at like at 3:30 in the morning.
these
So
times are cool.
yeah, it's rough. Like the race, 3 a.m.
Oh my.
But so
Wow.
but let's first talk about NASCAR. They're gonna be at Homestead, Miami. There's a couple drivers that I want to know that are racing in the Xfinity Series, and I'm actually really hyped about. Um, Mason Maggio, and I'm almost positive that Brad Perez is going to be um racing. Let me see if they got the lineup for the truck race. Okay, fine. Let's look at the entry list for. Hold on, actually, hold on. Maybe now that I'm on the website, it might actually show up for me. So Brandon Jones is going to be in the one truck, for Tricon.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Kyle Larson is in the '07. Corey Day is in the 7.
So, Spire Motorsports tweeted and they said sorry to all of our spotters that have to look for the cars because
They have,
They're all driving Hendrick cars.
so out of the 4 trucks that they have, 3 of them are running HendrickCars.com, and then it's only Andreas Perez that is running the Telcel, but
But
it's still a blue color.
but they're all still the same color.
Yeah,
But 3 of them are running Hendrick. So everybody's like, so Spire was like, sorry to our spotters in advance.
yeah.
Like you guys
Stephen
didn't put that very well.
Stephen Parsons is going to be running the 20. Ross Chastain in the 44. Apparently Ogata is going to be running the 63, maybe. Um, Michael, however you say this, I do not know how to say that last name. Apparently in the 67 truck.
Hmm.
Um, and it looks like those are the non-full-time ones. Um, ooh, Homestead. Who won Homestead?
Um, let's see. Yeah. Um, it was Grant and Finger, but that was the round of eight because they didn't race Homestead until the round of eight last year for the playoffs.
I think they moved Homestead in general. Or did they add a second date?
This schedule for this year is just so a disaster.
So, 4 trucks. Oh gosh. With them now racing in the spring, uh,
They just moved Homestead up, so it's not in the playoffs.
wow, that's surprising. Um people have got to be upset about that because Homestead's a really good race.
A lot of people are mad about the lot of tracks, which I don't even know if NASCAR is going to race at Mexico with everything that's going on, I guess, over
I
there.
heard about that. Apparently like apparently it's just all rumor.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't think they would make this much hype about it. Like,
Yeah, and the fact that Daniel Suarez took Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott to Mexico to go show them around. Like,
yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Like I don't think that they would have posted that a week before the information comes out saying, "Oh, we might not even go."
yeah, I was like, that's
Like, yeah,
why would you?
for them to post all this promotional stuff the week before the rumors come out that they might not even go to Mexico, which it's all politics. Like, I don't deal with politics. Like, I don't do any of it. Like, I don't I would much rather not know than make opinions
True.
off of information that I'm not aware of. But I've heard the reasoning of why people think they're not going, and I'm like, I understand it. Like, I get why people would come to that conclusion, but also this is a Formula One track that they like. It's not specifically a Formula One track, but it is a track that Formula One has raced at. So obviously, it's like I don't know if this is like a full track or if this is like one that has to be built every day. I don't know if it's a street course or what. Um, but for one of what's actually oh no, sorry, it's on the back of my shirt. I was about to show you. Like they claim Formula One is the pinnacle of motorsports. So if the pinnacle of motorsports is able to race at this track, why would there be issues for NASCAR? They're talking about the issues being like not being able to get the equipment in like into Mexico. So like the hauler drivers having issues, and which I get. Like, I mean, but also if you go through customs, it's the same way. They got to overlook all your stuff. So it's really what's the difference? But yeah, I if If they're looking at a safety concern at the track, I don't think that'll be an issue.
Yeah.
It's more of getting into the country because all what's going on is apparently like having to do with the cartel at the border. So the biggest, I think the biggest obstacle that that NASCAR and the hauler drivers are going to have is getting their equipment into the country.
Yeah.
Um, but we still have to do our paper for Homestead. Sorry, I went on like a whole thing there.
Yeah,
Um,
like a whole other world.
yeah. Um,
Straight up, I'm probably gonna. This is probably gonna be totally two long shots, but
okay.
I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna say Tanner is winner because he he's there. Like I feel like he should be getting a win at some point this year.
Hmm.
And then I'm gonna do Gio as a long shot, which they might honestly both be long shots, but that's what I'm gonna go with.
Um, hmm. I think.
It's so hard because I feel like I don't know their like vehicles yet. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't.
Also, with them changing the like complete opposite end of Homestead being the beginning
Yeah.
of the season rather than the end of the season, it's um I'm gonna go I'm gonna I'm gonna try a Ben Rhodes
Okay.
and you know I'll run it back. I'll say a Grant Enfinger.
Okay.
Like when was the last time Kyle Larson drove a truck? Like
Um.
like that's what I would be worried about. Like of course Kyle Larson can literally jump into anything and know how to race it. But like
I don't think he ran a truck at all last year. It was only Kyle Busch
so yeah, so I
and
think
Ross
it's I
Chastain.
think it's gonna take a little bit of time for Kyle Larson to get reacclimated with the trucks.
I would hope
So
so.
hopefully
Like
that
I. So also the last time Xfinity raced was also the round of eight, and our favorite person won.
or that was in Austin Hill, wasn't it?
Yep.
Okay, so the part times that are the Xfinity series.
Oh wait,
And
Kyle Larson's racing in all three series.
yep, he's ridden in the 17 in the Xfinity series. You have um Justin Bonsignor in um the 19, Corey Heim in the 24. Um Joey Gaze is running his own 35. Brad Perez in the 45. Again, Mason Maggio in the 53. This week it is Leland Honeyman in the 70, Dawson Cram in the 74, and another one of our boys. All three of our boys are running this week because Maya Snyder is in the 91. So Brad Perez, Dawson Cram, and Maya Snyder are all racing at Homestead. I
The
wish I could be
chaotic
there.
trio.
Yes,
The
the
chaotic
chaotic
trio.
trio.
I'm
I
so
wish I could be
sad.
there, man.
I'm so sad because I could have saw Dawson on Saturday for the autograph session, but I freaking missed it. We were just right off the cutoff line. So literally I'm just standing there and I'm like, telling my sister, I'm like, everybody, I'm like, there's Dawson right there. I'm like, there's Electrician Motorsports. It's like, I was so mad.
But
So mad.
I the 91 isn't necessarily bad. Like I think honestly, I think I might go Myatt for my long shot. Because
Not
like
bad.
he's again that's like that was his first win was Homestead.
Oh,
That's what yeah. Did you not hear him on the podcast? She forgot. She forgot. It's okay. It's okay.
I was
Um,
preoccupied with other things. It's fine.
like, mm,
It's so hard because I'm like, I don't know who. Yo,
I'm gonna.
hopefully Josh is actually okay to race because of his illness that's been
Oh
happening since
yeah.
literally Daytona. I didn't realize I didn't realize that Josh had gotten out of the car and it was Ty Dillon driving in the car.
Oh yeah. I didn't realize
I
they
didn't
swapped
realize
either.
they did it so fast, I guess. Okay.
Um, you know, for my winner, I'm gonna go Sheldon Creed.
You know, I was gonna say Sheldon as my long shot because I feel like
He's
it's
been
about time.
so close, man. I
Literally,
saw him. I saw him the other week at Millbridge. He had the kids with him. Man, I feel so bad.
I know
Like
he's been so. I'm waiting for the moment that he gets his first one, like literally his first
I
one.
I hope that I'm there because he knows me. And I'm gonna be like, bro, yes, like let's go.
I'm gonna say Sheldon as my long shot, and I'm gonna say Taylor as a winner. We'll see what he can do there. We'll see. Oops. Ain't no way.
Um,
Jeez Louisa, they really all didn't race Homestead until the round of eight. And Tyler Reddick won the cup race.
yeah, that was whenever he passed Ryan Blaney on the last lap, like
Yeah.
slingshot around him. In the 44, JJ Yaley's gonna be racing. Um, of course, Cody Ware's in the 51. That's r- that's all the lineup. So there's no
That's
there's no really outlier. Um, I'm gonna say you're gonna hate this one. I'm gonna say Christopher Bell.
Let me go jump off a bridge real quick.
I'm gonna say you're gonna hate this one too. So I'm going Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson.
So I'm
Just
gonna go
because
jump off a bridge.
just because a lot of Homestead is running the wall, and I feel like as dirt racers, they know how to do that best. So
I'm gonna go Chase Briscoe.
fair. I would be very happy
Uh,
if Briscoe won. That'd be great.
I would too. Like I want Briscoe to win. Mm,
Up,
mm,
Noah Gragson is live.
I can't with his lives. Um,
Oh, Briscoe?
and
Oh, wait,
mm,
Briscoe's a dirt racer too.
yeah, I don't want to say dirt racers, but like, mm, some wreck. I have no idea. So Briscoe, and I was gonna say Alex. I feel like he has run
Well, dirt
decently
racers.
there. Yeah, love it. Love it.
Now, we gotta do the um China sprint race um and the actual race. Sprint. I think can't remember how China ended last year, but also doesn't really matter because so many people have moved around and new drivers. Um, I'm gonna say obviously again we're excluding Max. Um, even though he doesn't look like he's destroying everybody. Um, hmm, I don't know how China looked last year. Um, I'm gonna go a George Russell and Charles for sprint.
So hard. I'm gonna go. I don't even know. Everybody's changing. I don't even know where everybody's at anymore. I'm gonna go with an Oscar
Okay.
and a Lewis.
Okay. Or the actual race, I'm gonna
Jeez.
go. Mm, no, that was Singapore. Um, I'm gonna go Lando and I'm trying to think who else was fast. Like, hold on, I'm going back to see who was fast last week. Bro, Lance Stroll finished sixth last week. That was wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, you know, I'll do a Kimi Antonelli.
Okay, okay.
Sure. Even though he got demoted from P4 and then reinstated to P4.
Um, this is so hard because I'm like, it's like, oh, you know? Let's see. I'll say I'm gonna go the opposite. Um, I'll say Charles
Okay.
and George.
Okay.
Completely different.
All right.
Okay.
So those were our picks for the races this weekend. Um, actually, when is Laguna Seca? Or sorry, not Laguna Seca, Thermal. Thermal's this weekend too. We gotta do IndyCar.
God.
I almost
Oh,
forgot it.
picking
I'm
stresses
doing
me out.
Thermal, Kyle Kirkwood, and Marcus Ericsson.
Um, cool, cool. I literally have no idea. Um, you know, I'll say half of these I don't even know. So we're just gonna go a Alexander Rossi.
Okay.
We're gonna go for it. And we'll go Pato.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah, we'll go that. I panicked. I just picked the first people I see. It's a lot of stress trying to pick for so many different things when I'm like, I don't even know who I'm picking in NASCAR half the time, but I'm like, I don't know who's good.
Which thermal, I think, wasn't thermal last year like an exhibition race?
I think so.
I think it was.
I think it
But
was.
okay. Well, we did our picks for this weekend. I guess we're gonna sign off. This has been the sixth episode of season 3 of the Trackside Girls podcast. Um, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for listening. However you enjoy our lovely podcast. And we're gonna sign off. We're gonna do our outro. You got your card? I'm
I
actually
do.
prepared this time.
Love it.
I have a little
Okay.
shelf, like this little thingy right here. It's a little heart shelf, and I have some little cars on it, so it's actually in reach now. Um, but again, we do this every outro, but we're gonna teach it to you guys. It goes peace, love, and race cars. Of course, you always use Riley. This
Okay, to
is
be to be fair, it is the first car in my reach.
fair, but we'll see. We'll see. Think, but yeah, we're gonna sign off. Okay, goodbye, guys.
Bye.